If you listen to women like you and I feel like period products would be free.
Yeah.
I would have universal health care in the United States at this point. Education would be accessible.
Yeah. People who disagree with everything I say would have a better life. And I would love that for them.
Yes. Trillionaires would not
Yeah.
exist.
It would be, I mean, I think I should run things, but I would hate to run things. Welcome to Words About Stuff, a podcast where I talk to awesome people about the stuff they love. I'm your host, Amy the Copywriter, and this is part 2 with Kayla Branstetter, author of Don't Be an Athena, TEDx Speaker, and English instructor at Crowder College. This week, we talk about listening to women, why we don't, why we should, and how misogyny shows up in day-to-day life. And I hate to say it, but if you don't listen to this episode, you might not be listening to women. Without further ado. Okay, since we're already talking about our main topic, I'm going to go to the game. It's too interesting to not go. Let's go over here. So I was listening to the one, probably your first TEDx talk was about Athena and Medusa. And then I was like, oh my God, snakes and ladders. And then I went down a rabbit hole of learning about snakes and ladders. So the main topics are listening to women is the big thing. Why should we do it? Why don't we? And how can we do it better? And honestly, when I asked myself, why should we listen to women? I had such a hard time answering it because it seems so obvious.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you just should. And then I thought maybe because we should listen to everyone, because we do listen to other people more, I need to roll this idea around in my mind. What do you think why should we listen to women?
Even historically, if we think about this, and I'm going to go back to ancient times because in 2022, we took our oldest daughter to Egypt for like 14 days. And what I love about that is it introduced her to the Middle Eastern culture and the African culture, because northern Egypt is very Middle Eastern, and then if you go further south towards Sudan, it becomes more and more African. But my daughter's first introduction to the Middle Eastern world is not attached to 9/11 at all. At all. She sees people, they treated her with respect, and she knows about 9/11. We talk about it, and I said one of the hijackers was Egyptian, but that's not what she thinks of. It's completely different. But while we were there, we obviously went to like all these different memorials and monuments. There are some that really stuck out, and one was Hatshepsut. I believe that's right. They had to teach us how to pronounce her name. She was queen for 22 years. And outside of Cleopatra, her and Cleopatra were the two longest reigning queens of Egypt. And both of them really kind of like a Queen Elizabeth. They didn't really have a pharaoh. They were the pharaoh. And under both of these like matriarchal society, Egypt thrived. And if we think about Cleopatra, we see her more as this seductress. But that was the Roman controlling the narrative of Cleopatra, because Cleopatra herself was actually quite accomplished. She knew multiple languages. She was well educated. I'm not saying that, she made some questionable decisions to get herself onto the throne.
Yeah.
but Egypt did thrive under her. And I think Rome was quite threatened by the fact that you had this woman who knows multiple languages, quite intelligent, had a lot of power, a lot of wealth. And I think we just don't listen to women because if we think about women of the past who ruled, Queen Elizabeth, Cleopatra, Hatshepsut, and even modern day women, like I was shocked almost that there are countries that have had female presidents before the United States.
Like so many.
Even Mexico, which is a heavy patriarchal society, has a current female president, and she is fabulous. I love listening to Claudia. And it just shocks me that the United States, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing
And that's people's
almost.
reason. Like, I don't know if a woman could be, they're gonna be emotional. Like, you just see it come out of people. Like, they're vomiting it
But
out.
how many women have started wars throughout the course of humankind?
Yeah. Yeah. But, they're not emotional, apparently, because they stuff it down.
And if we think about women and our emotions, I think we're far less.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the hormones and we can get into the biology, but I feel like we are more equipped to handle crises than men are. Because if we think about the role of a woman, and I can't speak for all women, I can speak for myself. And like, listen, I'm working on my doctorate, releasing a book. I am a full-time professor. I've done a TED Talk, and I'm helping my daughters chase their dreams while doing the dishes, laundry, making sure my kids are fed, they're bathed, they're going to the dentist appointments. And that's not to say I don't have help, but I am doing probably 90% of the work
Yeah.
as far as all of that goes. And yeah, I have to do it, the amount of decisions I have to make during the day and trying to remain calm. Like, and how many women share my story?
And you have to, like, as someone identified as a woman in society, as soon as you
Hmm.
get upset, now, oh, she's hysterical. Oh, are you
Yeah,
on your period? Like, as soon as you show an emotion, it gets tamped back down anyway. But men can be
yeah,
upset, and that's strong, or well, they could be angry. I guess it's
yeah.
hard for them to be upset. They suffer under patriarchy too. Any men out there like,
They
this sucks?
do.
It does. It sucks.
It does suck. And I've actually challenged that. I don't think that men are any less emotional than women.
Right.
I think society has created an environment that has suppressed their emotion. And it has backfired tremendously, at least in the Western world or the United States, because when I was working on my second master's degree, I did a research on this. It may have changed a little bit, but 90, almost 99% of shootings in the United States are male.
Yep.
And the biggest portion of them are
Hmm.
white males. And I think it's because we have created a society that they're not allowed to be emotional. And now, and it is something that we need to address. But I just think we don't listen to women because we have centuries worth
Yeah.
of saying not to listen to women. And I always think, what would the world be like if women had the same opportunities as men?
Yeah, that would be interesting. And people's reaction to that is always like, well, some women are mean too. Yeah, and right.
Yes, they are.
So,
They are. There are women who are abusive. There are
yeah,
women who are mean. There are women who are terrible wives and
yeah.
terrible mothers
And
and not good
narcissists,
human beings and
power hungry,
narcissists.
yeah, all those things.
Yes.
And what?
Yes. I mean, and while we're having this conversation, Lady Macbeth is coming through my mind.
Exactly. And what did I? Oh, I put stuff under the balloons. I remember what I was doing. I couldn't put a ladder to cover up words because there were too many holes. So I put balloons. What do we lose when we don't listen to women? I would say medically, when you don't listen to women, the women die.
Oh, yes.
We lose a
Yes,
lot.
women die. And here recently, and I have a few stories with this. In the United States, maternal mortality rate is on the rise,
Yeah.
and specifically with Black mothers. And so, Black women, I think, make up roughly 9 to 10% of the American population. They make up 40% of the maternal mortality death rate in the United States.
That's unacceptable.
It is unacceptable. And some of it comes from not listening to women.
Hmm.
I have a student in my narrative medicine course this summer, and they are presenting their research on this Wednesday. And she wrote on Kiera Johnson, who passed away, and her husband has an organization called For Kiera, For Moms. It is on Instagram. I do follow them. But Kiera was pregnant, went in to have the baby, and for 10 hours they dismissed her. And during that entire time that she was being dismissed, she was suffering from internal bleeding. And she ended up dying.
Yeah.
And Black women are more likely to be bullied into having a C-section over a white woman and then having her pain dismissed. And so when we don't hear women, I just feel like bad things happen. And I have my own personal experience with this. My grandmother passed away last month unexpectedly, and she was 87. So, I mean, she lived a long life and, for the most part, a fulfilling life. She still had her mind. And up until her death, she was complaining about her health care. They're not listening to me. They're talking down to me. They're talking at me and not actually listening. She goes, I press my button and they won't come see me for like 3 or 4 hours. My mom started taking notes. So 6 years ago, my grandmother had a pulmonary embolism. And so the day before my grandmother died, she was complaining about her legs hurting and not being able to breathe. We raised the awareness like, hey, listen, she has a history of blood clots.
Yeah.
She needs to be examined. And she was at a nursing home because she had fallen, she broke her hip. And so she was in a rehabilitation center. And so all they did was a chest x-ray. Well, you can't find a clot with a chest x-ray. And they said they were fine and they put her on oxygen. And then she died after her PT the next morning.
Gosh,
And it
that's
goes back to
terrible.
what you're saying of when we don't listen to women, like the consequences are fatal.
Yeah.
And that's not even with healthcare. It can be when we're not listening to women on if they're in a domestic violence situation. If we're not listening to women in general, I just think consequences are deadly.
Yeah, it's not even like a little like, oh, we're just not listening. Tee hee. It's you're
Hmm.
not listening if people are dying. That's just true.
Yes.
And women of color obviously have terrible things stacked against them. Some men of color will say some like, well, I have that same experience. Yes, you do.
Yes.
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 And we need to stop. We need to stop against we should be listening to everyone.
Well, and I think just patients in general,
Hmm.
like regardless of your background, um, your care should not be tied to classism
Yeah.
or racism.
Yeah. I can say what was I doing? Oh, one of my teeth back, like two of them had a root canal and one of them kind of hurt, right? And for like,
Mhm.
it hurts once in a while and it goes away. And I went to the dentist and he said, go to the specialist. And I go to the specialist and they, I don't know, I'm always dressed kind of like this. And I think they thought
Mhm.
like I don't have money or whatever it was, right? They were rude to me from the start. The guy spent 2 seconds looking at the x ray and he said, just have your dentist pull it out. And I said, what? Like, first of all, my dentist isn't going to do that. Second of all, I like drove an
Yeah.
hour to be here. At least pretend, right? And
Yeah.
he's like, I'll walk you out, was his answer. And so he's like walking me out. Oh, I hit my microphone. He's walking me out to the receptionist. And I said, like, well, why does it hurt then? And he's like, oh, it's probably just. And he said like a bunch of medical words. And I said, I don't know what that
So he didn't
means.
know.
And he's
Yeah,
like,
he didn't
well,
know.
you can just have it pulled out. It's not, there's no point in like trying to fix it. And I was so mad. And like, I can advocate for myself and I have all of this knowledge. And I was like, I'm going to go. I can't fix this guy. Maybe I'll write a review,
Mhm.
right? But it's that feeling of, I came here. I took time out of my day. Do you think I can't pay you? Or do you think I'm stupid? Or
Yeah.
like, what is the reason you're doing this? And it could just be
Yeah.
he hates his job and his life. I don't know.
Yeah, and my mom had a similar experience just like 2 weeks ago. She had vertigo. One of her ears, she felt like she was underwater and overall just didn't feel well. So she goes to the local urgent care because this is a weekend. Her general provider is not available. She goes and her entire like check in, seeing the PA, and check out was 6 minutes. 6 minutes.
I can't go to the fridge in 6 minutes. What are we talking about?
And she said that she felt like she had an ear infection, and the doctor, so she had an inner ear infection. He only checked on the outer side of the ear, and he goes, you don't have an ear infection. Since you're dizzy, go to the ER. That I can't take care of you. You need a brain scan. And the ER is expensive even with insurance here.
Yeah.
It's like $1,200, $1,300. And my mom's like, I'm not going to the ER for something that I think is an inner ear. I just need
Yeah.
antibiotics. So she goes to the regular doctor. The regular doctor checks her inner ear and says, yes, you have an inner ear infection, gives her the antibiotics. And he goes, well, it's a good thing you didn't die over the weekend because they were just like, oh, just,
Yeah.
it's almost like the urgent care it was beneath him. Like it didn't have the time to double check the inner ear. And he was pushing her off to where it's going to be someone else's problem.
Yeah.
And not only someone else's problem, it's going to be the ER doctor. Plus, my parents are now going to have this significant bill for something as treatable as an ear infection.
Yeah. And how many hours are you going to sit at the ER when you have an ear
Oh,
infection?
hours,
48?
hours.
Like, it's going to be insane. And
Yeah,
like,
it's not worth
what
it.
is that? Like, you became a doctor to do what? I hope it was to help people, but maybe not. And then I understand this. Well, I don't understand it because I'm not a doctor, but the stress on doctors and all these, I'm sure it's brutal and it's horrible, and we need to take care of them more.
Yes. Yes, we do.
If he needs to check everybody out in 10 minutes, of course, all he can do is pass people off. You can't treat anyone
Yeah.
in less than that.
No.
So, ugh, we need to fix everything. This episode is brought to you by going to your medical appointments. Yes, it's a privilege in the US to access medical care right now. But you gotta do it. I know it's expensive. I know it's boring and terrible and people don't treat you right most of the time. I know. But your life is worth it. Go to those checkups every year. Go to your gynecologist. Go to get your mammograms. Go to whatever those appointments are that you need to go to. It sucks, yes. Do it anyway. When you're there, bring a list of your questions. Advocate for yourself. Bring a friend who can do that for you. Bring a plan. It shouldn't be your job to fix the medical system or get attention or get someone to listen to you. You shouldn't have to struggle for it, but you do, and you got it. And hopefully you find a really cool doctor and you tell everyone else about him. Spend those extra spoons getting the second opinion, telling your story again. Don't give up on yourself. You're the only one who can do it. And I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. So pause the video, make that appointment, call your stupid insurance, fight with them, and come back. And now back to the episode. Let's check the other balloon. Oh, what could we gain by listening to women? I think, but like we're talking about with the period products, an entire new industry has formed. Manufacturing businesses around that, and then more women are in the workplace, and then more things are getting done, more expertise, more diversity. Maybe that's the answer?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we would just listen to women, there's so much good that can happen.
I can't think of anything bad about listening to people. Even if they have a wrong idea or whatever, you're like, oh, well, thanks for your perspective.
Whether it's a new idea. And I've been in places, and I know a lot of my coworkers who, even in higher education and academia, it's like, what do I need to do to prove that I am a scholar and an academic just like you, and you are still expecting me to take notes, go get your, you're treating me almost in, and a lot of women in my field have felt that way. Like we're in meetings and I don't think it's direct, but I just think sometimes people are just oblivious on how they treat us when we're in meetings. And when we approach these meetings, we were also recommended for these meetings. Like we were told to serve because of our expertise. And then when we have a seat at this table, I just had this because I'm on an AI committee, and we're taking the notes. We have ideas, and then like maybe a male voice is interjecting and saying, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but
Right.
have you considered? It's like, no, no, no. My title is the exact same title as yours. I'm here for a reason, and it's not to take your notes.
Yeah. And do you ever have to do that thing where you like have to repeat something another woman in the meeting
Yes.
said? Like, well, remember what she just said? Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And if we would just listen, like those meetings would be so much more productive,
Yeah.
because if you're like automatically walking into a meeting and people know what you're bringing to the table instead of expecting you to do secretary work, I think it's like, no, I'm not here to be your secretary. I'm here because I was told to be here because of the expertise that I am bringing to the table, not because I'm your unpaid personal secretary for this committee.
And you have to fight the people pleasing that you're taught to do. Well, if someone asks you
Yes.
for a favor,
Yes.
you should do it or whatever. Like, oh, they're asking me to take notes. Wait a minute.
Why aren't you asking him to take notes?
Yeah.
If you listen to women like you and I feel like period products would be free.
Yeah.
I would have universal health care in the United States at this point. Education would be accessible.
Yeah. People who disagree with everything I say would have a better life. And I would love that for them.
Yes. Trillionaires would not
Yeah.
exist.
It would be, I mean, I think I should run things, but I would hate to run things. So this slide is why don't we listen to women? So let me see if we've covered any of them. I really love this snake. I think he looks so cool.
It's funny. My daughter went through a phase where she liked snakes, and we had a pet snake.
Ooh.
We had a ball python named Cookie. I had to overcome my fear of snakes because I was taught to fear them.
Yeah.
And actually, we were in Egypt, and my daughter asked me, she goes, Mom, why do people hate snakes? And it was a great opportunity. I said, people hate what they don't understand.
Yeah.
I said, fear comes from not understanding. So we started researching snakes, and snakes are actually, I respect them. I respect them and what they do to society from a safe distance. I'm not saying I'm going out and being the crocodile hunter like Steve Irwin anytime soon. But I respect them. And actually, my daughter hates the Anaconda movie with Jennifer Lopez
Yeah.
because she feels like it's a complete misrepresentation of the snake.
It
So,
is. It's anti-snake propaganda out there.
yes, yes, there's some anti-snake.
I put what is misogyny because what we've been talking about is misogyny, right? Hating women. People who identify as like, well, I don't hate women. You don't have to have the label for yourself misogynist to do misogynist things, right?
Hmm.
Like, I can think of a bunch of women, like, who are the people not listening to women? Other women, often, right?
Yes.
It
Yeah, and it's also other women who are demonizing other women. Look at the Athena Medusa legend that I use in my book. And yes, I talk about misogyny in my book from men, but I also talk about women
Mhm.
who engage in the patriarchy and who are just as misogynistic as men.
Yeah. And you don't have to mean to do it. Sometimes I hear
No.
people, they'll be like, well, I don't mean to do. I'm like, okay, there's also a result, right? Whatever you're saying,
Yes.
oh, that girl, she's so beautiful and that boy is so smart. There's something happening in your own brain when you say those things. She is valuable for her body and he is valuable for his mind. We have to think about it. It takes time to
Yes.
unravel the misogyny piece. That's default, right? The society you're in
Yes.
is telling you all the things to say perfectly to be misogynist. You have to work hard not to do it. So that's just a little crash course on that.
And why are we protecting men's reputations with
Yeah.
sexual assault, but we're okay with destroying the victim's reputation? It just doesn't make sense to
Right.
me.
And you put in money and what, like that,
Hmm.
whatever case the guy assaulted the woman and they said, like, oh, well, he has a promising, like, yachting scholarship. What?
Okay.
Who cares?
Okay. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. There's a lot of things we need to stop caring about as much. And I was trying to think, what do people gain? Because we're talking about those doctors. Maybe they're churning people out. They're gaining some kind of statistic on their doctor card by not listening to women or patients. Maybe you get accepted in society if you don't listen to women, right?
Yeah.
You're in the in group. Everybody is agreeing with
But
you.
for how long, though?
Hopefully not long. But I can't think of any other reason to do it. Or hating women. That's a good reason to do it.
I do think that there's this push to hate women right
Yeah.
now. There's so many podcasts that they're trying to say women shouldn't vote
Hmm.
and that women shouldn't go to school. And here recently, the Southern Baptist Church just stated that women should not be preachers. And so I think that in some ways we're going backwards.
Yeah. Or trying to.
I mean, even in a religious sense, if we're looking at Christianity, what would have happened if some of the men in the New Testament didn't even listen to women? Mary Magdalene specifically.
Yeah.
So I like I can't wrap my brain around it because there's not much we can gain when we don't listen to women. We can engage in misogyny. I think I grew up in a traditional conservative area and I had to like deconstruct
Yeah.
some of my thoughts. Um, one being my relationship with makeup. because when I was like 12 years old, I was told I need to wear makeup because, quote, I was actually beautiful with it. And so for the longest time, you would not see me out in public without makeup. And now that I have my two daughters, I wear my relationship with makeup now is it's like an art. I love playing with it because I'm also an artist. So it's something that is now of I want to see what I can do. I really like these colors. It's more for me, and it's not trying to make myself look a certain way to appeal to a male's gaze. It's I want to look professional, and this is for me. I dress for me. I don't dress for anybody else. And having my daughters understand that, and my daughters will play with makeup, but I never tell them that they need to wear makeup, and that it's just something to play with and something to have fun with, and it's not something tied to just being a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to deconstruct because now you will see me out in public without makeup. On the weekends when my daughter's at a softball tournament, I will often not have makeup on. I'm in a cap, I'm in my glasses, I'm in the most comfortable clothes, period, because I'm not there to win anybody's gaze. I'm there to support my daughter.
Yeah. You don't
So,
have to perform. I think
no.
I'm lucky. I don't think anyone in my family or around me talked about makeup much at all, except my great grandma called it war paint. And I thought that was so interesting. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, when you're going to war, like when you're going to hunt men or something. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. It's like, I don't want to do that.
No, no, no. Like my relation, like I love lipstick, and I know some women see heels as part of misogyny, and I can see that. But I also like wearing heels, and so I like. But what I wear is what I want to wear.
Yeah. It's the intention again, right? Like if I
Yeah,
feel like I have to wear this to be a woman, I need to maybe deconstruct that and see what's going on.
yeah,
If I'm wearing them because I like them, okay, that's all about choice. People can make whatever choices
yeah.
they want. I just hope that they're actually making a choice.
Yes. Like right now, I am wearing white tennis shoes because it was raining, and I'm not wearing heels, and I don't care.
Yeah, that's my theme is I don't care about a lot of the stuff people seem to care about. What is this one? Oh, how does it show up? How does misogyny show up? I have a slide for this. Misogyny in the wild. I had some ideas. So commenting on people's bodies. We've kind of touched on this. Even
Hmm.
compliments. I know people are like, well, I'm just telling her she's pretty. Why is she mad about that? Why? Why do you think some women get mad about compliments?
Oh, yeah, because we're more than our looks. And we think about how often we're sexualized on bulletin boards and magazines. And right now, I think we're going back to the late 90s, early 2000 diet culture that was so toxic. I feel like we're going back to it with Ozempic, and
Yeah.
we're returning to this, I don't know, like this, call me crazy. I feel like it's this pedophilia look of women that we're wanting. Of just we want real women to look like young girls and
Right.
achieving a certain size that seems so unrealistic. And so whether it's not really having hair on the body and achieving this girl-like look, and yeah, so when you're commenting on our bodies, are you really commenting on like a woman's body, or does she look like this young body that you want them to look? It just,
It's
we're
weird.
so
It
sexualized.
is.
We
Yeah.
are.
Even little kids. I was
Yes.
shocked. So I have a son, and like in kindergarten, there would be parents who were saying like, "Oh, I think, this kid likes your son." I'm like, "They're in kindergarten. We don't have
Yeah.
to be talking about them dating. We don't have to even be thinking about that."
Hmm.
And like he gets to miss out on a lot of the things girls have to deal with, but I try to make him aware of it. I feel like that's my job raising a boy saying, "Look, if this is happening to the girls in your class, here's what we need to do." Right? You have
Yeah.
to be aware of it. You can't just be standing around. And we don't say, "Oh, you look tired today," or whatever. Like, we don't need to give unsolicited. Oh, I
No.
think in your TED talk you said something like, "Oh, your face is so pretty. Why don't you eat less?" Something like what the fuck?
Yes.
What do people think they can
Yes.
say this stuff for?
Yeah. Like, no, we can't be saying that.
No. And the internet makes that even easier to do. How many
Yeah.
people are commenting on how women look constantly on the internet? Or people who are bigger, if their body is bigger, they're going to get 100 comments about that? Why?
Well, and even like the beach,
Hmm.
and I'm even this way. I feel my body is changing. I'm in like perimenopause, and I love the beach. I love walking on the beach. I don't like being in a swimsuit in a beach because even though I should not care what people think, I know people are going to comment that
Yeah.
it's like your body doesn't look like my 11-year-old's body. Well, my body better not look like an
Yeah.
11-year-old's body.
I've done some work. I've lived some life. I don't want to look like that anymore.
I've, I've had 2 kids. I have a full-time
Yeah.
job. No, I am not going to look like that.
And the photoshopping of it all and all of that stuff, that's I think it feeds into each other. Someone
I think
commenting
so.
that makes someone else Photoshop the thing, which makes someone else think that that's normal, and they think that's what a trad wife is. And there's a point where we have to
Mhm.
cut that off. So compliments that I try to mindfully give are like, you look happy. That's the one
Mhm.
that I go with when I think someone is looking like they're enjoying themselves, and that's really what I'm looking for if I ever need to judge someone's picture. You look happy, or, that's an awesome picture. I don't really have much more to say than that.
Yes.
Let's see. Fertility judgment, family size. So I have a cousin who has 5 kids or something, and she posts like, don't tell me how many kids or don't comment on how many kids. So it has to be happening to her in that way. And that
I
sucks.
think it's family size, and I bring this up in my TED Talk. Family size is nobody's damn business,
Nope.
period. It's not. Whether a couple decides to not have kids, have 1 kid, have 2 kids, or, 12 kids, it is not your business. So I have 2 daughters, and when you have children of the same sex, they're always like, so when are you going to try to have a boy? I'm not, I'm done. I have my 2 daughters. I don't do pregnant well. I hate being pregnant. And I'm in a place in my life right now that my kids are in school. We're out of diapers. We're out of daycare.
Yeah.
I'm not reliving that.
But those people feel like they have. What other kind of questions could people ask like that? Like, how much is in your bank account? Right? Like,
Yes, because it's like you have 5 kids and want to know if you can afford your kids, and it's why is that in your business?
maybe people are nosy. And they've heard those questions too, right? Like their
Yeah.
parents asked them that and then they're asking that. So it's up to us now to stop asking that question. I'm not going to be asking my son, when are you going to have a kid? Why would I do that?
Oh, I'm not asking my daughters that. I'm not even asking them when they're going to get married.
No.
If my daughters want to be traditional housewives, they have my blessing. The only thing that I want them to do is I want them to go to university and get a college degree. That's my one stipulation. But I'm not expecting them to be a trad wife or a mother. I want them to be whatever's going to make them happy. And so my 11-year-old she wants to be a professional athlete. She said she has no desire to get married or have kids. I said, that's fine. I'm not going to pressure you. And then my 6-year-old, it depends on the week what she wants to be.
Yeah.
Some days she wants to be a teacher, she wants to be a doctor, and then Taylor Swift. And I'm okay with any of
Yeah, you
those.
can do all those things. Yeah, getting married is a big
Yeah.
one. It's interesting because my husband and I got married when I think he was 19 and I was 20. And so no one had asked us that question yet. We shut that up right away. You asking that?
I
Oh,
got married young.
check mark, right? Now nobody can ask that. The next question was, when are you going to have kids?
Having a baby.
Not from my immediate family, really. They know that when I decide to do something, it will happen. And if I have decided not to, that was on purpose. But from the outside world, oh, you guys have been married 10 years. When are you going to have kids? What a horrible question. What if I had been trying the whole time?
Yeah, I struggle with infertility. I had a miscarriage. And so when it comes to reproduction and misogyny attached to that, I've been on the receiving end of that. And it wasn't like my immediate family because they knew. It was the people outside of, you need to be giving so and so a grandchild. When are you going to get pregnant? You're not getting any younger. And just like all these comments. And then I had some friends who they just wanted 1 kid. That was
Hmm.
it. And the reason being was she suffered from postpartum depression so bad that she didn't want to relive that hell.
Yeah.
And so, but people judged her. They're like, well, what if your kid dies or something? I'm like, why are you
What?
talking about her kid dying?
Where are people getting this from? Like, and it's common. If anyone hasn't
It's very
experienced this,
common.
all
Yeah,
of
it's
those
very
comments, I've heard them all, right? Like, and the same thing. I grew up with a family and they had like 4 girls, and people constantly said to them, oh, when are you going to have a boy? Number one, no one controls that unless you adopt.
no.
Number two, what do you need a boy for? Like, one of the girls
Yeah,
could transition to be a boy later. I don't, who cares? Who cares?
my husband now, like he wanted a son, but we have two daughters, and he's an elementary teacher now, and he goes, I don't know if I can handle boys because now that I have my girls, and like he's adjusted, and I think again he was raised in this traditional kind of conservative mindset, and now that we have two daughters, he sees how much we fight. He's becoming a feminist now
Yeah.
because he's now like he's starting to see it. And that's what we need. If we're really going to fight misogyny, we need more men to get on board with fighting against it. And I
Yeah.
think he's finally getting on board and saying, this isn't the society that I want my daughters to be raised in. We're not raising our daughters to be wives and mothers. We're raising our daughters to be human beings with their own personalities, and we're going to continue to support their strengths. And if they become a wife and a mother in their journey, great, we're there for it. If not, then we're going to continue to pursue what's going to make them happy.
Yeah. Oh, and this is what I do now. My son is 12, and people will still say, well, doesn't he need a sister, or when are you gonna have a sibling, or whatever. My answer to that now, maybe I'm rude, you'll have to tell me. I say, well, you can have that baby anytime you want. Like, what? You're putting that on me? I gotta do a whole bunch of work just so you can be like, oh, he has a sister. You don't care. It's a
Well,
lot
I
of
think
work.
it's a lot of work to have, yes. And then I don't know, like my kids are 11 and 6. My 6-year-old will be 7 in August. I'm like, man, I've adjusted my house to no longer being baby toddler proof. I don't know if I could go. Like I have young nieces and nephews. My nephew just turned a year old. My niece is 2.5 years old. I'm back in public
Yeah.
without temper tantrums and a diaper bag. It's beautiful. And like my brother-in-law and my sister, it's their turn to be humiliated in public.
Yeah.
My turn's done. Do you think I want to return to that?
The people who are older who are saying this have often gone through these stages, which I find interesting. They had little kids, they had older kids, maybe they had more kids, whatever. And so what they're
Yes.
really saying is, why aren't you doing the thing I had to do? Or why aren't you doing it my way? Or that's something behind the question.
I am so tired of people who are saying, I survived this, so
Right.
you have to as well. I'm done with that
No.
BS. Yeah, I survived that, but I am fighting like hell so the next generation doesn't have
Yeah.
to. They can thrive in it. I don't want them to feel like they're in survival mode anymore.
That's how my husband and I talk about this all the time. Like with the student loan forgiveness, people are like, well,
Oh,
I paid
yeah.
off my student loans. And I'm like, and dude, good for you.
Good for you. Good for you.
We'll give you a
But
medal.
I would love, like, I want my taxes to be used for SNAP
Yeah.
and healthcare and student loans and education. Like, I would much rather do that than do pointless wars and just spend money where it's unnecessary.
100%.
If people are not benefiting from me paying taxes, then I don't understand why I'm paying taxes.
Yeah. Oh, student loans, all forgiven. Oh, some debt
Oh,
companies don't get a whole bunch of interest. Boo-hoo. Doesn't affect me in
okay.
the least.
No, no.
We already talked about objectification in media. That happens all the time. I, I
Yes.
was watching it was a skit or something, and it was making fun of science fiction. They were like, do a science fiction sketch. And the male person was like, I'm a scientist. And the girl was like, I'm the daughter of a scientist. Because that's how like women are in a lot of stories. Like, I'm an important person's
Yes.
daughter. I'm like, well, we can be doctors too. I'm glad to see that's starting to happen. There's starting to be women characters who talk about things and have backstories. I'm starting to love it.
Yes. Yeah, and I love how Disney has shifted the narrative because I grew up in the Disney princess era. So I loved Little Mermaid growing up, absolutely loved it, loved the music. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want my daughters watching this.
Yeah.
Um,
She gave up
like,
everything for that guy.
she gave up everything after 3 days. Like, no, we're not doing that. And so just the female characters are much stronger. I mean, if we think of Moana, my kids love Moana, and Elsa, that she's this reigning queen. She doesn't need to have a love interest. She's who she is. And so I just feel like the character arcs are much more complex and just more adjusted to what a female character should
And
be.
I think that's happening because there might be some women in the writing room. It might be
Yes,
working.
yes,
And you make a lot of
yeah,
money when you tell a story that half of the population wants to hear.
yes.
Amazing. medical settings, so we talked about this a bit, like pain levels, especially if you're a person of color and you're a woman, they're like, oh, you're not in that much pain. You have a high pain tolerance. That's a racist thing to say. How do you know that?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Not understanding symptoms or believing symptoms or saying that's just because of your period or something. Like,
Yeah.
no, no, no. Well, that's misogyny in the wild.
Again, just because you were able to tolerate and survive that condition doesn't
Yeah.
mean that the next person or the next woman needs to. So that needs to stop.
And didn't we start out saying we want our children to have better than we had it? Like, let's keep that energy
Yes.
going. Or was that those are just
Yes.
words and you really didn't?
Yes.
Victim blaming, it's just crazy. One woman comes forward and they're like, why didn't you come forward sooner? You know, what did you get out of it? All of those things. We can't be doing that. Just listen to
No,
women.
we can't. Women don't come forward because they have seen how we demonize the women who have come
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah,
That's why they don't come forward.
right. 100%. So, how can we do better? I think we've covered them. People might mean
Yay!
well, but they need to introspect. They need to think about,
Yes.
why am I saying this? What do I really want out of this? Why am I saying, when are you going to have another kid? We don't need to say that to people. Relearn your
No.
social scripts. You don't have
Yes.
to say, oh, you would look pretty if you were a size 5, or don't do it. And I just put these, at least you'll something, is probably a bad way to start a sentence. Maybe if you're talking to a woman, do you want to talk about it? Might be a good thing to say. Or tell me about what you're thinking or feeling or experiencing. Maybe that's the way
Yes.
forward.
Yes, just creating a safe place. The amount of times people will try to make a statement to me out of good intention after my miscarriage, but it was actually quite toxic
Yeah.
when all they needed to do was say, I'm here for you. Sometimes just having a shoulder to cry on. And people need to vent. People need to know it's okay to be angry,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to know how to release that anger in a way that's not going to be toxic to other people. And like with my miscarriage, with my infertility, I was a very angry person.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I was in an environment where I could be angry, if that makes sense.
It
It's
does.
like I would journal a lot because I needed to get that anger out somewhere. But yeah, don't say everything will work out, because at that moment when I had a pregnancy loss, in my moment, my entire world just crumbled.
Right.
And you're telling me everything is going to work out?
Or everything happens for a reason or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that at that moment. I want to be pissed off.
Yeah. And that's all part of the journeys, right? If you're in your
Yes.
phase of life where you have little kids and you're loving it, amazing for you. If you're a trad
Yes.
wife and you love it, amazing for you.
Yes.
Let's all do what we need to do and stop commenting on each other. I like to say thank you for sharing. That's my comment on someone
Yes.
venting. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. That's
Yes.
fine. Who knows that the same thing
Yes.
happened to me, or whatever. We don't need to do that.
I think we try to connect, but sometimes just creating a safe
Yeah.
place to let people vent is what we need.
I love it. Beautiful. If people want to learn more about listening to women or medical misogyny or how not to be an Athena, they should get your book.
Yes, they should. I'm excited.
Yes.
It's coming out. It's been a 6-year
Oh
process.
my gosh, amazing. I'll put the link in the show notes. I'll put it up here. And if someone wants more Kayla, where should they go? To your website?
They can go to my website. They can find me on Instagram. Instagram will probably be the easiest, or LinkedIn.
Perfect. Those will be in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for coming, Kayla. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We end every episode with an exceptional outro that I haven't thought of yet. Until then, we're stealing. As Bell Hooks always said, feminist thinking teaches us all, especially, how to love justice and freedom in ways that foster and affirm life. Feminism is for everybody.